The 16-year-old Nathaniel Julies, who had Down syndrome, was allegedly shot by a police officer just meters away from his home in Eldorado Park in 2020. We now take you live now to our reporter Griselda Lewis, who's on standby to speak to us this morning. A very good morning to you, Griselda. Please take us, or rather talk us through what's happening there. We see the wall has already got some signatures there. Talk us through what's happening there this morning.
Well, that's right. A very good morning to you, Mkolisi. Live pictures from Eldorado Park. And this is the remembrance wall in honor of Nathaniel Julies. You would recall Nathaniel Julies was killed at this particular spot, allegedly by police. That particular case restarting again in October after the presiding judge had passed away in that matter, you would recall. So Nathaniel Julies was gunned down at this particular spot where you see this wall of remembrance, young children in this community, as well as family members who have also been writing in honor of Nathaniel Julies. I'm going to bring in his mother at this particular stage, on Bridget. And Bridget, thank you very much for your time this morning. This is quite a momentous moment. I remember, I think it was about a year ago or two when I spoke to you, 2 years ago inside your home. If you could come this direction for us. This is part of what has been set up here in remembrance of Nathaniel Julies. I'm going to bring in his mother, Aunt Bridget. Aunt Bridget, a momentous day today, remembering your son. I see both young and old children here to pay tribute to your son. How do you feel today? I know since the last time I spoke to you, you've been calling for closure.
Yes, and I'm still doing it. I'm still calling for closure. Yeah, it's a big feeling that I have. It's overwhelming, for the political alliances just to be here. It means so much to me because the support means a lot to me. Sometimes you need that family that's supporting you all the way, especially we as a small family. And for us, it's overwhelming that the political alliances are standing all behind us, through all of this trial and everything that's been happening during the years. They are still standing with us, and I just appreciate them so much. I just want to say thank you. The one that needs the glory the most, it's God. God is the one that's established in our lives. When we fall, He rose us again, And when you're down, He picks you up. And it's our Heavenly Father is always there with me through all of this trials and stuff that I've been through all those years. It's now for 2 years that I've been, just one justice. But I know God is going to come through for us, as a family, as a political family. And, we're just going to have closure. And I just want that day to be an amazing day and just rejoicing, because we can rejoice for a lot of things. But for getting justice, it's tough because sometimes you don't even get justice. And justice isn't being served because of our colored, our colored nation, and they just put you aside. But I thank God for His stepping in, and I thank the community for stepping in that present moment when Nathaniel loses his life. They were there and just, they didn't keep quiet. They raised their voices, and here we are today.
Yeah. The trial is starting again in October, Bridget. I mean, surely you were hoping that by this time at least there would be some form of justice, but unfortunately the presiding judge in the matter has passed away. So the trial basically has to start again.
Yes, the previous magistrate passed on, but God is never too late. And it's never too early. It's right on time. And I believe that, things are happening for a reason. It's not a loss that our previous magistrate, we salute him 100%. And we just want to thank his family, for that opportunity that that he could serve us. Half of the justice that's been done. He made a massive work on this case, and we're going to take it from there.
Bridget, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Nathaniel Julies, his mother, speaking to us there. And I want to bring you just very quickly before we wrap this up. I'm going to try to sit here. You would see this has actually been placed here by one of the youngsters in this area. And let me just show you. This is actually a packet of biscuits. And why is this symbolic? This is particularly symbolic because Nathaniel Julies had been going to buy biscuits, we understand, on that particular day when he had been gunned down here. And we understand after he was returned from buying those biscuits, that's when he was gunned down allegedly by those police officers. While this family has been waiting for justice for the past 2 years, just a reminder to our viewers that the case itself is restarting in October of this year, following the passing on of the presiding judge in this particular matter. So basically back to scratch for this particular matter in October. This is while the family is calling for justice, but certainly this wall of remembrance from this particular area, we will be moving to the cemetery where Nathaniel Julies was laid to rest, and that's where the unveiling of the tombstone will be taking place.
Right, Griselda, now some strong views that came from the PA leader there, Gayton McKenzie. How were some of his statements received by members of the community who were there this morning?
Julies, if you could please repeat that.
Well, just before we got into our conversation with you, we heard the Patriotic Alliance leader, Gayton McKenzie, addressing the community members there. Let's talk about how some of his sentiments and strong views were received by members of the community there.
Well, essentially what the Patriotic Alliance leader had said was that Nathaniel Julies had actually been killed by his heroes. He loved the police. He would always run towards the police when he saw them as a child. But those who were supposed to be his protectors, is what Gayton McKenzie said, were those individuals who actually shot and killed him. Gayton McKenzie says while the matter is still going on, and of course, as I indicated, it will begin again in October. He says there's no dispute about the fact that police have killed Nathaniel Julies. But unfortunately, this is a matter that is going to once again start in October. And this community itself saying that, there needs to be justice for Nathaniel Julies. And no matter how long it takes, they want to see justice done in this matter. And they're hoping that this wall of remembrance that is here, as well as this plaque, as well as the unveiling of the tombstone, will be a constant reminder of what happened to Nathaniel Julies 2 years ago.
Griselda Lewis out there in Eldorado Park for us. Thanks very much indeed.